god, it looks like a guy. What the fuck is even going on here? Oh. It's this shit being a whack. Man, what the fuck? What in the fuck? What in the fuck? What in the fuck? I agree, bro. Okay. Seriously? There we go. Just gonna let the hair get all tangled up in a fucking hat. That's always great. Oh my god. Still totally feel like a corpse. Ugh. Do 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 do. Right, there we go. When I was streaming last time, I was being fuckety with chat last time, so hopefully I don't get those same problems. Cause that would suck. Having some delicious burrito. And there's a little bit of background tunage. Just took a bite of basically just unadulterated bacon. And it's amazing. I want my goddamn coffee. What's up? Not much. Still feel like a fucking corpse. So, I'm gonna consume some food and have a coffee. What are you doing? What are you doing, boy? What is... Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? You silly boy. Oh no, my burrito. Wow, it didn't actually like get dirty or fall or collapse or nothing. Yay! You look less dead now than you did last night. Well, that's at least good. Alright, burrito is safe. Yay! I was about to... Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's popped by my work a little bit. Just kind of say hi and grab this. And, Jesus Christ. I mean, from what it looks like, both of those dingbats are there today. So, it's just like... I was kind of looking at him just like... What's up, bro? So I was kind of giving him that look a little bit. It's like, yeah, hi. Figured I'd pop in, see how things are. See if you all decide to show up today. It looks like you did, you piece of shit. I mean, the guy I'm not really butthurt at was there, and I kind of looked at him and was like, hey, what the hell, bruh? And of course, he gave me the reason that I figured it was, and I'm just like, well, okay. It just, and I was just, if anything, I'll tell him. It really sucked mostly just because Scotty also did that, and he's like, yeah, I heard about that too. I'm just like, yeah, I'm more butthurt and pissed at him more than you. So, I mean, if anything, I'm more just kind of more like frustrated with just the whole event more than really like you at all. So, you know, he obviously knows it wasn't, directly his fault, obviously. I mean, like, he fucking knew. Like, he called out way early in the morning knowing that he couldn't make it down there yesterday. So it's like, alright, if it was just him, it would have been fine. Because we could have managed that. But, obviously, nope. Boop. I literally had like some music up and I'm just like, yeah, alright, let's just get rid of that. There we go. Whoa! Alright, that sounded like a banger, but we can at least turn down just a little bit. Looking, well, it's definitely making me feel better. No, shredded steak. Though honestly, it should have bacon in it, but it's shredded steak, bacon, potatoes, and onions. And normally it would come with cheese, but I personally am not a fan of cheese. Or at least how they do it, because they go like hella overboard with it. What in the hell? What is this? I'm getting a random fucking ass phone call out of nowhere? Why am I getting phone calls? Oh no, okay, that went away way quicker than it normally would if I just let it ring out. Might have been a butt dial. Alright, maybe I'm okay. It was actually a family friend, but I was just like, wait. Because yesterday I was invited to go eat some sushi with my mom, actually, and her, and go see Top Gun. And I was like, I was thought that was today, and she was like, no, that's yesterday. And I'm like, well, today, meaning yesterday. But, and I was just like, oh, well, I'm working today. And honestly, it's been pretty hectic and brutal. And honestly, I really would rather be doing what you're doing right now. So, man... Like, I mean, I hope y'all have a lot more fun than I am. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I hope hope your day's better and blah, 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 so. But, yeah. I mean, honestly, like, I could just tell yesterday would have been fine in hindsight if it literally was just a fact if only one of them fucking called in or none of them did. It would have just been fucking, like, golden parachute sailing fucking, like, gliding down if it was both of them. I'm not in the mood for a pro-USA imperialism movie. I'm just kind of a sucker for action films and, like, planes and shit like that. I mean, yeah, like, I remember hearing about how when the first Top Gun came out, like, the Navy, Air Force was... like at least the U.S. Navy, mainly like the U.S. Navy Air Force branch of them, were all like, having recruitment booths and stuff like that outside the movies and shit, and a bunch of people were wanting to like join up in the Navy and all this. I think they legit had to, like, decline people because, like, okay, look, just because you saw a movie doesn't mean you could just join the Navy. They bomb an Iranian, quote, nuclear facility as the big bad of the movie. Are you fucking kidding? Oh my god, dude. Dude, what a lame and gay-ass fucking plot, bro. There always has to be some big bad, like, boogeyman for America, dude. It's Russia. It's Iran. It's the Muslims. Let me guess, did all the Iranians have, like, strangely, like, kind of, like, sexy complexion with, like, you know, eyeliner around their eyes and stuff like that? Because if you notice, for some reason, like, when they did depict, like, mainly, like, Muslim warlords or Iranian warlords or whatever the fuck, you know, shit like that in American movies, I don't know why, maybe it's just me, but I noticed they always have, like, this more handsome complexion and they have eyeliner around the bingo. I knew it. I fucking knew it. I am not surprised. It's like these suave, handsome, devilish men who are coming out to fucking, you know, bomb America and destroy what is great about us. Our handsome, devilish men must go after theirs. Makes, like, you know, the women, too, like the white blonde wasps as well, to be like, swoon, to be like, oh no, if he came in America and, you know, just swept me away, I wouldn't really be that against it. You know, you could just tell that, yeah, like, that's part of it, too. Oh my god, the weird things that are in, like, pro-imperialist, pro-America culture, at least when it comes into movies, like, man, some of the weird imagery and like, it's just so weird. It just is. And I'm honestly, like, without even seeing the movie outside of, like, the 2 trailers where they're showing all the cool flights and they got, you know, Tom Cruise basically being the trailer. Like, outside of all that shit, I don't know anything about the movie. Besides, there's also apparently space jets. I want space jets. Like, honestly, I could give a fuck about the plot. I just want to see cool cool planes go zoom zoom, fire missiles, and fucking space jets. Like, I mean, because that's how I viewed the initial Top Gun minus space jets, and that's essentially, it's like... Like, for me, it's more of like turn your brain off, have fun action movie. And I think, you know, you can have fun with movies like that, even if they have, like, that messaging and shit. But, I mean, frankly, I'm especially considering circumstances right now, and I think when that movie was being made anyway in the first place, it was, it's just, you know, considering I think while that movie was being produced and shit, it was during the Trump administration, so obviously the themes are going to be America and all that shit. Because a lot of, like, America war movies that were coming out in, like, the 2000s and shit, in the early 2010s, and shit like that, were all hyper pro-America, like, jingoistic shit. Like, honestly, it's just kind of been like that for a while. I mean, it's not like, you know, there are movies within that realm that also kind of hold somewhat of anti-war messaging. Like, you know, this shouldn't have to be the case, or we shouldn't be doing this, but pro-America still. You know, so it's just like, I mean, even if there is, like, some sort of anti-war messaging within some of these movies, I mean, it usually gets overswept by the pro-America jingoism. Or I guess, in this case, more or less patriotism, less than jingoism, because the jingoism will imply one to be all imperialist and shit, but there are some, you know, like, Saving Private Ryan would probably be a good example. It's like, it's a kind of a patriotic, like, yeah, America movie, but it's not exactly like a pro-war one, necessarily. I mean, it's pretty fucking brutal. I mean, there was veterans who were in World War II, and some who were even on D-Day that saw it and literally had to, like, fucking leave and be like, I literally can't watch this. This is, like, way too realistic. I like the war movies that came out during Obama's presidency, like Olympus Has Fallen or White House Down. Well, those aren't even, like, really full-out war movies, but also, those are just kind of fun. You know, those are the movies that I'm, like, talking about. Like, the fun action-pack, like, there's some America jingo shit in there, but it's all like, yeah, turn your brain off action movies that also have maybe some humor in it. Because I remember with White House Down or Olympus, I'm pretty sure White House Down, which also I think there was another one where they did it in London, second movie, and both of them were actually, had some humor in it. So, I mean, all in all, like, I mean, it's like you can have fun with these type of movies and still kind of have like a pro jingo aesthetic to it to a degree. To have like people that are like, yeah, like, yeah, God, guns, country, and all that shit. Like, you could get them to, to give you give you their money and shit. And at the same time, actually, also instill like a more anti-war message, or also be a little humorous, or make light of, the darkness of the type of shit. Because, I mean, humor is a way to help, cope and make ourselves feel better about legit fucking shit going on. Nothing like watching fake Obama kick terrorist asses. Wasn't it the fake Obama Morgan Freeman? The fact that they made him Morgan... I'm pretty sure it was Morgan Freeman. I mean, honestly, though, like, there's just some funny shit about that White House Down. Like, honestly, it's a pretty funny movie. Because weren't the terrorists or, like, the antagonists basically more so, like, just kind of a generic, like, insert bad guy here type of dude, more or less, than, like, oh, they're those damned Russians, or whatever the fuck, Like, they didn't really have, like, a exact, like, origin outside of, like, we just want to see America burn and take vengeance and blah 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 and shit. It's just generic bad guy here, basically. Which, honestly, it's just like, I mean, just might as well make it that case. Or if you're gonna have, like, an antagonist of a country, just literally make it some random ass fucking shit, like, oh, an alternate history where France, took, a government, like, a totally different route and became, like, antagonistic to everybody or whatever the fuck, and blah 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 blah, and you have now insert bad guy here, but French, or whatever the fuck, it's just like, just have fun with it. Don't have to be like, these damn Russians or these damn Iranians, I tell you what, brother. It's just so fucking cliche and stupid. Like, make it Australia or something. Like, oi, what do we have to do to you, mate? It's like, I don't know. The emus rose up and conquered you. How about that? You know what? That's what happened. The fucking, in an alternate universe, the emus rose up, took power, and became the emu Australasian supremacy, and is now taken all of Oceania and is coming for America. Those goddamn emus, man. The Australians lost that war. We can't have the rest of us lose it. Australians might have lost the war against the emus, but we won't. Do you need to make a Kaiserreich movie or a TV series? That would be pretty cool. But considering it's alternate history, I worry that they would probably butcher it. Because look what they did with Man in High Castle, which was on Amazon, so I honestly pirated it, but, I mean, the first 2 seasons were actually pretty good, but then the last couple, like, once it started getting to the last half, it fucking sucked. Like, it became, like, I shit you fucking not, I'm pretty sure it was literally, like, multi-dimensional shit was going on. They did, like, different timeline shit. They literally just, like, gutted it was bad. I honestly, I think I had to erase it from my memory, and now I'm getting traumatized again. Like, no. Because the book of Man in High Castle is actually really good. And the first couple seasons, like, were actually really great, too. I enjoyed the first couple seasons of Man in High Castle. The last couple got weird. I know, dude. And honestly, it was just like, what the fuck? It made it suck. At least for me. Because, like, this isn't, like, I mean, they could have easily, like, one thing was, there was also, I think, I forgot what they're called. They're, like, basically the communist insurgency in the, like, the Brotherhood or some shit that was in, the Japanese Pacific states. Like, in the, for most of the season, they're essentially, like, mostly this ragtag group of people. And then, like, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, they just become an organized thing, and just, like, oh, suddenly they just basically made it so the Japanese occupational government, like, leaves. And it's like, what? It's like, I mean, there is just some shit that just literally, they just throw the plot out. Even what they had building up, just throw it out the window and just, like, we'll just do whatever. I need to, like, stop thinking about it, because it's honestly a little, like, fucking it, like, kind of pisses me off a little. Like, I mean, because, like, you had something that was legitimately going good, and then they just, I don't even know what they did with it. like, I could get the alternate timeline shit a little bit, because, I mean, the first couple seasons kind of had that, because the tapes that were discovered, you know, aren't necessarily from their time, so I could kind of make an exception for that. This should have ended with Germany, Japan going to war with each other. Yeah, frankly, that's how it should have been, and that's what causes, you know, like, the communist insurgency in the West, you know, to rise up, and then you get, like, different, mafia factions in, like, Chicago, New York, and shit, that, you know, were cooperative with the Nazi government rising up. Like, you can make something out of that, where at least it'll, one, be, like, realistic and kind of feasible, it makes sense, plot-wise and all, and two, you know, would also add a little bit more intensity of, like, not only is there, like, full-on war going on where there's nuclear weapons being used here as well, by the way, you know, there's also this mass insurgency, and will the weapons be used? Like, you know, how far do we want to take this plot before, you know, a weapon gets dropped, you know? It's like, I mean, they could have really went somewhere with it where it could have been fundamentally, like, something actually good. That's, I think, why it pisses me off, and that's why when it comes to, like, alternate history stuff like that, I get a little worried if, you know, if it's, like, outside of, like, you know, the realm of where it started, you know, like with Man High Castle being a book, and with Kaiserreich being, like, a community mod for a game that's just built up ever since. It's like, and I know, like, the community's also kind of doing their own little mini-series and stuff, but it's them doing it, you know? It's not like, you know, some bigger studio, you know, taking a charge a little bit like they did of that. I get, yeah, I don't know. I want to see it. Like, honestly, if, like, the people making the little mini-series right now had, like, some fuck you money and had some hella funding, they could probably make it really good just under their little indie production. And at that point, they can even probably legitimately hire a couple, you know, at least, you know, kind of startup talented actors that can kind of help play a couple extra protagonistic or antagonistic roles, you know, for, you know, development and shit like that. Like, if they had the money for it, they could do it. But I'd rather it be mainly an indie project if it was. Like, honestly. Like, and if there's, like, some cheesiness and maybe some not great acting here and there, fuck it. That's, I mean, at least that's kind of the beauty and the fun of it. In a new film, it's probably what they're trying to work on. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, I'd love to fucking partake in something like that. Like a film that's kind of more or less like short stories, where it's like, it's really mainly like 4 or 5 different perspectives from like each faction. So maybe like 1 or maybe like 2 for, you know, the American Union State, and then like the combined syndicalists, and then have like 1 for the Pacific States and 1 for New England Confederation. I don't know, shit like that. Maybe like, you know, just have like, you know, like little short stories that kind of all build up, you know, into like, you know, these bigger stories that kind of merge into one. Whereas like you have these different, you know, factions, you know, where you're hearing the, you know, stories of like, you know, 1 person from each like faction and shit. And like, especially with like Cindy's and then like the American Union State dudes, like obviously they would be the ones to mainly clash, and then like for the Pacific States, maybe having like another Union state versus like Cindy, you know, storyline there. Like there could be, you know, if anything, like 2 different like type of storylines you mix into like 1 bigger indie film from like different perspectives of different characters that eventually lead up to them. Or Cindy parts in the Pacific States. I mean, considering my well, at least where I live now, my background, it'll most likely be a partisan in the Pacific States, but I mean, if anything, I'd probably just go east towards Montana way, because I know lore-wise it is accurate that at least the initial foundation of the Combined Syndicates of America goes far west as Montana. Anything, I just flee east, and then just, you know, be just like a partisan militiaman. But if anything, I'd you know, if it's like, you know, 30s, 40s, I literally would probably wear a hat like this. Which honestly, one thing that kind of bums me out, there's not as much variety that people are doing for like some of the cosmetic or like some of the concept art. Because I definitely want to have like, you know, some syndicalist like Western, like Montana Wild West, like Midwest, you know, styles and shit. And definitely have these type of hats included. Because I'm seeing like American Union State concept arts and pretty much half of them have these type of hats. And I'm just like, bruh. I'm just like, bruh. They can't be the only ones that flex those hats. Because why do they have to have some drip? Why does the American Union State get drip, bro? They don't deserve drip. You goofy boy. A big worry is them doing something silly like in the mods, Easter eggs, for example. George Bush can randomly pop up as a spy for the federal government. I mean, George Bush randomly popping up as a spy for the federal government? Like, W or senior? If it's the senior, I guess in a way that would make sense because he was for the federal government and the head of the CIA at one point. So, W? So not the senior? Okay, that is a little silly. Makes sense for it to be senior, HW. Because at least at that point, you know, it would at least be somewhat accurate to how the real world was versus, you know, the alternate universe. So, like, I mean, honestly, it's like I don't really necessarily mind it that much if you have, like, a little silly Easter egg here and there. But, I mean, I'd kind of at least make it somewhat time accurate. Like, make it George H.W., not W. That'd make a lot more sense. And still be kind of a silly little Easter egg. Because I doubt H.W. was really going to be old enough necessarily for, you know, working for the government by, like, the late 30s. But, well, you know, maybe. I'm pretty sure he served in World War II, so, yeah. And H.P. Lovecraft, through some Easter egg shenanigans, can become a leader of New England. Okay, see, that's fun. See, like, I mean, honestly, random shit like that, though, is, one, silly, but, like, I vibe with it, though. Like, I'm okay with some funny little things like that. Like, because they're not meant to be taken seriously. That's why they're Easter eggs. Like, you know, not, like, nobody's, like, you know, unless for the fucking lulz, you know, is trying to instill Lovecraft as a leader. I don't even think Lovecraft would want to lead that shit. He'd be like, fuck all of you, I'm just going to reside in my seclusion. Like, he wouldn't even want to do it. So, you know, it's meant to be just fun. Yeah, you know, like, I doubt, like, when it comes to having, like, some, you know, like, kind of, like, you know, an Easter egg where, you know, maybe they have I could see maybe, like, some references, like, if they did do, like, you know, some indie movie or, like, a series and they have, like, you know, in the background on the streets or some shit near New England, like, you have, like, a poster for, like, you know, a bunch of loyalists towards, like, H.P. Lovecraft or whatever who want to try to instill him. Basically kind of make, like, these weird cult group. Which, that would make sense. Like, you maybe, like, yeah, because I don't know if there was, but I'm sure there was probably people that really liked Lovecraft's work and shit. And considering the instability of America in this universe, there very likely would have been people who basically have nothing really left and don't really got much else to lose, who essentially probably might go cult mode on, you know, get a hard-on for HP. So, I mean, if anything, I mean, I guess in a way it could make sense, but it's still more or less meant to be fun. Not really taken super seriously. But at least I guess you can make an excuse or a justification as to why there might, yeah, at least be something like that there anyway. We should look up the name of Lovecraft's cat, since his name is considered a slur. I already know, dude. I know about Lovecraft and shit. I mean, I'll say the soft, not the soft, but like the friendly version, Neighbor Man. Because, you know, his cat's just such a friendly neighbor. I mean, you know, like, yeah, I'm well aware. And it's like, it's kind of, I think, one of the big memes that people on the internet like to spread around about it. At least around, about him. which kind of enforces the fact that he was a racist piece of shit. And just basically a major fucking elitist and like a bougie fuck, despite not really being upper class most of his life. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, a good chunk of his life was mostly in poverty and destitute, and that's, I think, why he has such a vehement distaste also towards, you know, people that background in socioeconomic status, you know, especially minority people. Because he just saw that type of shit as, like, inhuman. Or savage, or, you know, whatever terminology was used at that time. I mean, at least for him, because even back then, he was, like, even other people were like, yo, you're racist as fuck. Even if they were themselves, they look at him and be like, you're going too far. So it's like, I mean, he probably went a little extra spicy. In fact, it's not probably he did. He may have been a racist person, but his work is excellent. Yeah, I mean, I do like his work. A lot of his different short stories and stuff. And a lot of his weird lore and shit like that. Like, there's definitely, I mean, you know, for who he was, he still had a very creative and very, it's really interesting imagination. And a very, I mean, at the very least, a very odd, like, universe he's kind of built in his own little head when it comes to, you know, how he kind of viewed this type of shit. Is there a cop over there? Oh, yeah, okay. He's not near him. Alright. Phat Lovecraft, a lot of modern horror in games and movies, so it'd likely be different. Yep. I mean, there's a reason why there's a whole genre of horror called Lovecraftian horror. I mean, because it's very cosmic, it's very, yeah, I mean, a lot of it's more or less, you know, the horror of what you don't see versus the horror of what you do.
Are you going somewhere?
He already went somewhere.
Where you gonna go?
I was gonna see my mama here in a little bit, but she didn't want me to bring him along, so.
So you went for a little walk?
Yeah.
I was struggling this morning.
What?
I built my toilets this morning.
That's... Look at that little tail. Smacking up against my leg. Goofball.
Should I take it Harley's been here?
Hmm?
Should I take it Harley's been here?
Yeah, after they were all at the bar, Stefano, Melty, and Harley all stopped by to say hey. And by that point, I was already about to like start crashing and shit. And he was,
sleep?
yeah, and he was going. I was in here, and he was going off. And at a certain point, I just stopped giving a fuck. And then Harley popped in, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I realized it was all
of them?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude? We're trying to go to bed. I was already out by then, probably.
Yeah, I think you were already out, but I was about to. But honestly, I'm kind of glad because I did not want to sleep in here, so I was like, "Fuck, all right." Well, yeah, well, I'm here, and you can see how fucking like I don't even think I was finishing my sentence. Like, whoa, you can see I'm yeah, I think I was just like that, and yeah, I mean, I remember like one of them was asking me a question about like, you know, what's up, and I'm just like, I just straight up was like, hmm. You signed for a bandito? Not today. At least not that I'm aware of. I was thinking when we visited my mom, taking a look up and down the street around the corner. Because I know sometimes he likes to kind of wander around over there. At least for me, like, I mean, at this point I'm starting to get a little like, what the fuck, but, I mean, I'm not like, you know, like I said, outright, like, you know, really that nervous about it, because, I mean, he's...
Well, somebody said that they were feeding cats around here, so...
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty sure he knows who...
Yeah, I mean, if my dad missed his usual routine about getting fed, chances of that night he went off hunting, and then the next day he probably found some food that was left out by one of the people that feed the cats around here.
Yeah.
And is probably just hanging out in that area right now. Which is probably in that area because that's the last time he was spotted, which I know that it's a pretty big little area over there. You know, that's kind of like a little out of the way from the main road on the side over there, so...
Well, see, my whole thing is predators. That's my...
Yeah, but honestly...
I'm not jumping straight to that conclusion.
And the reason why I'm not worried about it, because honestly, the only time I've ever seen anything remotely close to a predator would be raccoons, which he literally will chase raccoons 3 times his size and charge them and attack them, you know, more than raccoons attack him. So, I mean, if anything, I'm not really worried about that. And I've only seen a coyote out here once ever, and it was like a very small, skinny, skittish little fuck. And usually they're solo when they're in suburbs, and more or less they're scavenging people's trash cans and shit like that.
I think the biggest thing is somebody might have took him in, too.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks.
Fuck. Yeah, I mean...
He's a
very
cat.
And very friendly.
Very friendly. I mean, the only thing to do on that would go door to door.
Well, that's what I've been telling him, because at least today I definitely don't really have time to be doing... Yeah, tomorrow would be a better time for me. So, but at least, you know, like...
I mean...
I've already been, like, you know, telling my neighbors up and down the street about it, so...
It's not more there, it's more...
mainly over there. That's my next, you know, Are you sure he isn't just have some female kitty? He's neutered. So...
You can't have no more female kitty.
Yeah, so that's definitely not happening. He's not a tomcat.
Even though he was a kick-ass tomcat.
Yeah, I mean, he was for, like, the first, like, year and a half of his life, but when we officially got him back, he was spraying the fuck out of everything in the house, and so that was... Like, that was essentially the main reason why. Like, honestly, you know, his behavior wasn't really much different outside of just him doing that, you know, from what he is now, so... I mean, you know, outside of maybe, I guess, being slightly more aggressive when he was young, when he had him, which looked like just a fucking coal mine. Like, it was just like... I don't know what it is about these pets being endowed so much, but it's just like, what the fuck? Bandit had like a fat-ass coal mine, Zukov and his peaches. It's like, Jesus, man. Hey!
What the Shut up! Woof, woof, woof.
Oh. Look at you. Ridiculous little bastard. Ridiculous little dog. I mean, honestly, like, the most realistic scenario that I'm thinking right now is that somebody probably did take him in their house and is just probably holding on to him. You know, because he's a local cat around the area, and considering how friendly he is, they're thinking, oh, we'll just let him in. So honestly, all in all, that to me is probably the realistic outcome. But if that's the case, he's probably just in the neighborhood. And also, if that also is the case, that cat is not going to want to stay inside forever. That cat's going to be one out. Huh? Alright. I might be gone when you come back, depending on how long you are. Won't be on here for too much longer, but I'll stick around for like another 10-15 minutes. On a little bit of a time crunch, but like I said, I'm just kind of chilling. It's not eating the whole burrito, but at least, you know, scarf some burrito, have some coffee and shit, get my body all like re-energized and shit from yesterday. My God, fucking. And yes, I feel like I got trauma from yesterday. Like, fuck, I'm just feeling like, fuck. Ugh. Like, that's just my feeling from yesterday. It's like, fuck. Ugh. It's like, I just feel... Ugh. Ugh. Frankly, do you work again today? Fuck no, I don't. Hell, I would not be doing this right now if I wasn't. Frankly, even if I did, I'd just call in. Knowing that the other motherfuckers working, or should have yesterday, are, like, Yeah, today is day off. But I'm gonna be with my mama, because it's her birthday today, so... Which I'm a little bummed, because I ordered something for her. Actually, I can pull it up what I got her. And, it's in England, and I didn't realize that it will take some time for it to actually be made and shipped anyway. So now I'm sitting here like, god damn it. I told her about it, though, so she gets it, and she says that's totally fine. So, I'm not going to show her yet until it actually comes in, but this is what it is. I heard it, yeah, but here. It says, be in love with your life, every detail of it. Jack Kerouac? I don't know who that is. Actually, yeah, I should look up who the fuck that is, actually. Yeah, honestly. Safeway better than Walmart. Honestly, all in all, despite the fucking bullshit, yes. Like, all in all, you know, even with the bullshit that I have to deal with, yes, it is. Here, let me look up Jack Kerouac. I want to see what this is. American novelist. I kind of figured. Jean-Louis Leblis de Kerouac, also known as Jack... Oh my god. What a name. Also known as Jack Kerouac, was an American novelist and poet who, alongside William S. Burroughs and Allen Ginsberg, was a pioneer of the Beat generation. Oh. So, a beatnik.
These are driving me nuts.
Kerouac was recognized for his style of spontaneous prose. Thematically, his work covered topics such as his Catholic spirituality. I call my mom, I don't know how she feel about that. Jazz, travel, promiscuity. Oh. Life in New York City, Buddhism, drugs, and poverty. He became an underground celebrity and, with other beats, progenitor of the hippie movement. Although he remained antagonistic to some of his politically radical elements, he has a lasting legacy, greatly influencing many of the cultural icons in the 60s, including Bob Dylan, the Beatles, and the Doors. Which my mom loves Bob Dylan and the Beatles. So, alright, you know what? I made a good decision with that necklace. Life is better with a little promiscuity. I do agree. So yeah, I'm definitely. I think I made a good choice, because then if she asks who he is, and I could just tell him. Oh my god, I could just tell her that at least some of the general information about who he is, and if anything, I know that will probably get her interested in probably checking him out. So. I think I made a pretty good choice there, because honestly, like, my mom has always been a big fan of, like, little random jewelry trinkets like that. You know, not like outright, like, you know, just super fancy bougie stuff, but, you know, like, kind of like legit kind of random, like, you know, off the wall trinkets and, you know, and the like. So, you know, so she really appreciates random little things like that, especially if they're like kind of homemade trinkets and stuff. They're actually, like, really nicely done and meant to look like, you know, uppity or bougie in a sense, but, you know, it's homemade and has, like, a little bit of, you know, sense of, like, I guess rawness to it? Instead of being just, like, you know, a corporatized, like, here's a nice $300,000 ring or some shit. Have some good old bougie ice to be flexing on that wrist. But I also got something for myself from that same place that also has some pro-union jewelry too. And there's this one little brooch pin that I wanted to get that had like that said "Power to the Union." This really kind of fancy little ornament with a little red bow. And I want to put that above my IWW medal that I have, because if anything, it'll fit with that and also kind of make it pop a little bit. If anything, that'll make it so people also be like, "What is that? What is that thing you have on your chest there, What's that, Sonny kid?" Well, I'll definitely have to show it once it finally gets here, but it's still probably going to take a while, unfortunately. It's just like, god damn it. Nothing like a good old-fashioned Cindy pin. Yep. Well, here, I can actually show it really quick. I mean, it's on the same fucking purchase order. Here it is. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is what I'm getting here. Really, it's a really nice and fancy little ornamental little pin, and then a little button down there below it. Ah, don't keep zooming in. I don't need a constant zoom in. But here's the shop for it. Check out. Boom. Where it has that cool stuff. V accessories. From what I understand, it takes a while for the stuff to actually get made up and shit, and then, you know, gets shipped, so. At this point, I'm not really too worried about it. I'm just waiting for it to finally get shipped. At least all my other stuff that I have ordered on the side, at least most of my gun part shit, I mean, all that's basically been ordered up. Romanian upper and the pistol grip for that is coming in. And also my little laser bore to sight my rifle, that's coming in, and then my compensator's coming in. So I'm pretty happy about that. Kind of excited. They should make a union butt plug. With what? Like, how would they do that? Frankly, I don't even really want to know. Took off. What are you doing? Weirdo? I'm gonna see if what stuff I can look at for later tonight when I come back. Still chomping hands, of course. It's one of his favorite things to do. He's not like, of course he's never mean about it. He's always just like, oh, 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 oh. He just kind of gently does it. Like, dead ass, like when he chomps on a hand, it doesn't hurt. Like, he's not doing it in a way to actually try to hurt you. It's all friendly love chomps. They're like little playful love chomps. That's what they are. I mean, they do get a little annoying because sometimes he's like all slobbery, you know, and it's just like, oh man, it's like, come on, dude. It's like all slobbered out because of you now, you son of a bitch. Did you see Crystal Ball go on Bill Maher? Yeah, react to see that when Dave Dole released a video of that. I did that a couple streams ago. I forgot which one, but probably like 2-3 days ago. If anything, honestly, I'm just slowly but surely realizing that I'm kind of low-key starting to simp for Crystal Ball. Because she has that, like, assertive, benevolent, dominant, like, teacher vibe on her. she thick, and when she wants to like assert herself and shit, she ain't afraid to do it. It's just like, goddamn son. Kyle is a lucky man indeed. I'm honestly happy for him when it comes to that, you know, because it's just like, I mean, you know, you can just tell he's really happy with her and shit, and she's really happy, so, I mean, if anything, you know, I can't help but, you know, be like, you know, good on him, you know? But still doesn't mean I can't, you know, admire her for being beautiful as fuck. You know what I mean? Because, hey, I mean, when someone's beautiful as fuck, I mean, they are. I mean, what? I can't... I mean, it's not like I'm, you know, gonna be all like, oh my god, I just want to see her and all, and just like, BDSM stuff and have her just like chained up on, but like, I ain't, you know, whatever the fuck, you know, it's just like, oh my god. I suppose not that I wouldn't mind her in like some BDSM get up, yeah, being dominant on someone like me, but either way though, I mean, it's just like, I mean, like, I don't know how she rolls, if anything, it sounds like she's kind of vanilla, so whatever, you know, like, that's fine. She could do her, and I, you know, and whatever, you know, it's just like, I'm just gonna, you know, acknowledge and appreciate her for being beautiful as fuck. I wonder though, is Kyle Dom or is part of me hopes they do dominatrix shit with leather and chains? Disgusting, I know. I mean, yeah, like, honestly, knowing Kyle, he's hella vanilla. Like, he's exceptionally vanilla as fuck, so definitely not. But I guarantee you, like, you know, they probably get a little extra spicy, but I mean, I don't know, like, if Kyle's like full. Like, maybe, like a switch, but not like a switch where she's going like, you know, I'm gonna have a strap on or some shit, you know what I mean? But more like, she's gonna like take charge, you know? Like, I mean, it's like stuff like that. Like, you know, I could see that, but maybe not like full on sub. Like submissive dominance, you know, that type of switch where it's like they let the submissive partner just kind of do the power bottom roll and just take charge and just kind of lay back and just kind of let them do the work. I mean, so I can see that. Why are we like, why is this a topic right now? With dildo Lamau. What the fuck? See, this is why. Like, oh my god, this is just getting like, what the fuck, bro? I don't like. It's just. I mean, it's not that I don't. It's not that I don't necessarily want to imagine Crystal like, or at least just that specific like archetype. Because honestly, when it comes to you know, my preference, like, Crystal hits pretty much most of the criteria in a lot of ways. Very intelligent, very confident, you know, and just, like, you know, a little extra of the thick, but in all the right ways, and, you know, you know, has also got, it's the thick athletic build, basically, you know, type of thing. I mean, there's, like, you know, I mean, honestly, at least when it comes to my preference, she just kind of hits a lot of it. It's like, book. But Kyle, though, I don't need to imagine him doing anything besides, like, being a lesbian soccer mom coach because of the memes. Like, outside of that, like, I mean, he's an innocent boy, okay? He's an innocent, sweet boy. Anyway, like, just what a way to, like, have a little, just what a topic. What the fuck? Why do we go here? Why did the route go? Not attracted to Kyle and there's no legs, Lamau. I mean, I'm not dogging on him, you know, on that. Like, he's an attractive dude, but like, he's an innocent boy, okay? He's innocent. We don't really need that all anymore. Set that right there. Get this all resealed so it doesn't go bad. Bada bing, bada boom. Put those around there now. Finish my coffee, right? Yeah. Alright, cool. Right. Get one more bowl loaded up and all that fun stuff. His mama do a couple errands here. Of course, come back when all said done. Alright, sorry, bye-bye. Trying to think. What would be the time scale of return? I shouldn't even try to plot that so far ahead of time, because there's at least one thing I wanted to do here home before I totally resettle down. And that's mainly at least kind of get the kitchen area prepped up for tomorrow, because that's going to be a deep clean day with me and one of the homies. And if my roommate happens to be up to stuff, he'll, help out a little bit with that too, but he's got work that day too, or at least tomorrow, so, and the next day, so he might be off work and taking a nap and stuff. But at least, that'll get started on, getting things, section by section, at least on the interior. The exterior of this place is looking alright, but the interior still needs serious, significant work. Especially to get him moved in a little spot, because then there can at least be at the very least a couch available in the meantime, and then we can kind of slowly but surely, get something worked out from there. Sit. Look off. Where'd you go? What are you doing? What are you doing, you little fur loop? Get over here. What are you doing? I've slept on couches most of my life. In fact, I almost prefer a couch to a bed. Well, we're gonna at least make sure that there's a little bit of extra booze, going on for you, and you have at least something decent. Maybe see about getting like one of those futon couches or something. Well, not futon, or like one of those that can extend out into a bed or some shit. Those are dope. I actually love those. Honestly, thinking about it, part of me honestly wants to upgrade my bed into that. That actually sounds pretty hella dope. Because at some point, I eventually want to make sure my room, definitely, the only thing I really can't sleep on is an air mattress. Well, fuck those things. I, not really me necessarily, but pretty much everyone I know who gets those things never has good experiences with them, because they, within a week or so, start leaking. So they never really last that long. Sweet boy. Yeah. Where I'm going, I can't take you along. I really want to, but I can't. I'll sleep on the floor, I prefer an air mattress now. Honestly, same. I mean, I technically do. I literally just have like a spring box and then my mattress just on my floor. Just shoved into one corner of my room. And frankly, I prefer it that way anyway. I've never really been a fan of like when it's raised up with like the little with the actual like legs and shit, because honestly, like there's just, you know, the tendency of just random shit getting on there, and then, you know, when cleaning you also have to, like, you know, deal with that on, you know, trying to, it's just, honestly, if anything, it's just like, to me, easier to just have it all on the ground, because then when you think about it, honestly, cleaning is a little bit easier because nothing's getting under there. So it's just, you know, you actually, in a way, kind of have one spot. Like, so if you do deep cleaning, you move your mattress around, you actually have, like, a clean area that you can move things to clean other spots of your room. So, in a way, honestly, I think, in a sense, practically, actually, you know, especially on more budgetary senses, a little better. But that's just me, honestly. But I know I'm not the only one. Like, most of my friends are pretty much the same way. But honestly, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, it does kind of make sense, though. I mean, at least to me, when it comes to that shit. We used to have a really nice memory foam bed, but I left it to my ex after discover her cheating on it. Oh, dude, I would leave it to her too, dude. Dude, imagine how many nights you were sleeping on that bed with other man's juices on that shit, bro. Like the juice of other men. That you don't even fucking... Oh my god, bro. Ah. Can't sleep where my trust has been betrayed, you know? Well, frankly, yeah, I don't blame you. It's not even necessarily like that, so to speak. It's more or less just like, I mean, what I was thinking of. Like, I mean, because I guess it plays into that. Trust been broken because now there's like some other mystery juice all up in that funk, and I don't like that. I don't want that. I don't mind juice of other men as long as I'm the one helping producing it. Well, yeah, because at that point, it's not mystery juice. But when it's some shit that you don't know and unaware of, and it's like, you know, like, the form of a, you know, cheating and shit, it's just like, boo. That's where it's no bueno. But anyway, gonna get this last bowl smoked up, and then, head off and do my things, but I'll be back, of course, later tonight. Definitely probably before 10, maybe like 8 or 9 or something, but we'll see. Gotta make sure my mama gets some love. Anyway, so, at least until then, peace out, and of course, I'll be back around for that next one, so...